Alright, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about last night's Celtics versus Nuggets game on TNT, a potential NBA Finals preview. A really good game we had. We're going to talk about it here in today's video, a breakdown, my thoughts on it, stuff like that. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the content around here. Consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, stuff like that. Really appreciate it. Really have said a lot. Link to my Twitter description down below. And yeah, don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So, second time recording this. I recorded this. I literally just finished it, and yeah, then the audio file messed up. So, gonna do it again. Yeah, so fun, right? But yeah, last night we had Celtics and Nuggets playing. Potential NBA Finals preview. Two of the best teams in the NBA going up against each other, and it was a great game. The Nuggets ended up winning this one 115 to 109. Yeah, it was a really, really fun game to watch. You know, um, saw a lot of different things on both teams, both sides that I really liked, disliked, whatever. For Boston, they tried to come out with Porzingis early, and he was hitting a couple shots, but not really great to start. Really, it was Jalen Brown early for Boston, which the entirety of the game really was Jalen Brown for the Celtics, kind of carrying this offense when a lot of their other people weren't hitting shots and things weren't going well. It sounded like they were just giving the ball to Jalen Brown, and Jalen Brown was making things happen. He had a really good game. For Denver, Jokic got off to a really solid start in terms of finding everybody else, which he always does. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, MPJ got early shots early on. Yeah, it was a very close first quarter. Jamal Murray hit a 3-pointer at the end of the first quarter. That was really tough to give the Nuggets a 2-point lead, go to the second quarter. And the Jamal Murray minutes with the bench were really good. Not only just in the second quarter, but the entirety of the game. The Jamal Murray minutes with the bench without Jokic was really good, and they got off to a good start in the second quarter for Denver. Christian Brown, Payne Watson making plays, doing stuff like that. But Boston got back in it because Porzingis and Jalen Brown started hitting shots. It was an 8-point lead for Denver at halftime after, Murray and Aaron Gordon hit a couple shots at the end of the first half. Third quarter, you came out. Kristaps Porzingis hit a couple shots to start the third quarter. That was big. They wanted to get him more involved. He hit a couple big shots. It was a very close third quarter. At least the start of the third quarter was. As Porzingis hitting a couple shots, Jalen Brown as well, and then Jokic. Jokic really started to establish himself. I felt like on the offensive end early in the third quarter. Getting in the post, hitting some tough shots, doing Jokic things started to kind of take over this game a little bit. And the end of the third quarter was big because Nuggets went on their little run. Both teams kind of went back and forth on runs. Celtics started off early in the third quarter, and the Nuggets came back, and the Nuggets ended the third quarter on a good run, thanks to KCP. In the bench, Payne Watson had a good run when he hit back-to-back shots. Reggie Jackson hit a big shot as well. KCP hit a three-pointer. All of a sudden, the Nuggets were up 10 going into the fourth quarter. And again, the Jamal Murray minutes with the bench were really good to start the fourth quarter. The Nuggets got off to their biggest lead, which was 12 at one point in this game. But then, of course, the Celtics come back with it. Porzingis, Jalen Brown, Jrue Holiday hits a couple shots, starts to get involved in the game. And all of a sudden, it's a big game. It's a 2-point game with a minute left. Nuggets turn the ball over. Jason Tatum gets a wide open corner three, and he misses it. Nuggets come back down the other end. And Jokic somehow, the connection with Aaron Gordon, somehow he does like a double spin, just throws it up near the rim, and finds Aaron Gordon, and Aaron Gordon dunks it, and that kind of sealed the game right there. And the Nuggets end up winning this one. Things I saw from the Denver Nuggets show why they're the reigning champs and why they're well respected, deserve to be well respected. They're a really good team. You can't. There's not really many ways to beat them. They're I think 7-1 since the All Star break. They have been dominant, and it was a dominant performance last night. Just doing championship things. Not making a lot of mistakes, capitalizing on mistakes, making the opportunities, making the easy ones, and doing all the little things. They didn't have an amazing shooting night. She shot 50% from the field. They were just 4 for 21 from three. You didn't even recognize that. Like I didn't even recognize it until I looked at the end of the game. I was like, dang, they were only 4 for 21 from three. Like they did not have a good shooting night, and they still got the win because they got to the free throw line and made it when it counted. They were 21 for 22 from the free throw line. That's what championship teams do. They only had 7 turnovers. They had out assisted Boston 27 to 24. Did all the little things like that. Got the big stops they needed to, hit the big shots they needed to. You know, counteracted Boston's runs. Like that's what championship teams do, and they just show right there why they are one of the best teams, not maybe even the best team in the NBA. Nikola Jokic, his MVP case, kind of, I'm not saying sealed at this point because we still have a lot of time left, but it grew a lot last night. It felt like 32, 12, and 11, 11 for 19, 10 for 10 from the field line, doing Jokic things, controlling the game on the offensive end. Great finds. Again, he had the pass to Aaron Gordon. Him and Aaron Gordon's connection has been so great, not even just last night's game, but the entirety of the year. Aaron Gordon is such a great fit to this team because Jokic and it feels like Jokic just knows where Aaron Gordon's going to be all the time. He knows it's going to be, he's either going to be in the corner, or most of the time he knows as soon as I turn around and get this, if I'm at the free throw line, as soon as I get the ball and turn around, I know he's going to be cutting because they're going to have so much attention on Jokic. I know Aaron Gordon's going to be down there in the dunker spot where he's going to be cutting, and that's an easy lob. I know it, and it works every time. It feels like you can't really stop it. Even though Aaron Gordon had not a great start to this game, he made some big plays. He had another play late in the game that was big where Jokic, Porzingis kind of pulled the chair on Jokic. Jokic went up for like a kind of a little bit of a wild layup that missed off the glass, and Aaron Gordon just came out of nowhere. It caught the ball, I feel like at his hip. He caught it and just jammed it back in. That was like a huge play. I was even like, whoa, that's a big dunk right there. Aaron Gordon's such a key part. Jamal Murray, even though he didn't have amazing stats in this game, it didn't really take over like Jamal Murray usually did. He had a great start, but he was facilitating a lot more. Defensively, he was locked in as well, which is big to see him lock in there. But I feel like a big thing for Denver that won this game was the Nuggets bench outplayed the Celtics bench. It's not something you see very often, especially with the Denver Nuggets. You know what I mean? Like the Celtics, even though they don't have the biggest names off their bench, it's been very effective. Like they had guys that come in and play their role and make big plays, and that's kind of like the determining factor kind of for a lot of games for the Celtics. But the Nuggets bench outplayed the Celtics bench. Payne Watson. Payne Watson was huge in this game. 11 and 4, 2 blocks off the bench, 5 for 9 from the field. He had that end of third quarter stretch where he hit a pull up mid range, and then he hit a 3 ball. Defensively, he was in there. In the lineup in the fourth quarter where the Nuggets went back to their starters, Payne Watson was in there in the starting lineup with Jokic, Murray, I think KCP, and Aaron Gordon. He was out there. He replaced MPJ for defense purposes. He's a pogo stick type of dude. Second year, he's been a big impact for Denver, especially on the defensive end. He's got the length. He blocks a lot of shots for being a 6'7", 6'8" guy. He blocks a lot of shots, and offensively, still got some work to do, but he has potential there, and he had a couple big shots. He was huge in this game. Christian Braun, he does the thing. He's good. He's just a winning player. He's a guy that isn't gonna probably not gonna be super statistically great or anything like that, but he's gonna have a role just because he makes winning plays, hustle plays, defensive plays, rebound. He rebounded well last night. He had 6 boards. Does little things like that. Even Zeke Naji came in and only played 8 minutes, but he brought a lot of energy on both ends as well. So Nuggets bench, which has been I think a big like kind of it's been the big thing. It's like can the young bench step up and do things when it comes playoff time? Like will that be when Jokic is off the court, Jamal Murray's off the court? Can this team stay afloat? And last night, the Nuggets bench showed out. So a lot of credit to them. And yeah, the Nuggets got an amazing win. Showing why they're the Nuggets. KCP, of course, doing good things in the defensive end as well. He had a couple steals, especially when the Celtics tried to do their pick and pop or whatever. Porzingis at the top of the key. KCP came out, got a lot of deflections there. He's been an elite defender this season. Yeah, for Boston side, the offense, not great. Jaylen Brown was really keeping them afloat. Jaylen Brown, amazing game, 41, 14, and 4. Shot 16 for 29. Was 7 for 14 from the free throw line. Did miss 7 free throws, which is big. And the Celtics team was 16 for 25 from the free throw line. 64%. You're not going to win games if you shoot below 70% from the free throw line against the Denver Nuggets. But Jaylen Brown was really keeping them afloat. I feel like anytime Boston just needed something to go, Jaylen Brown just had the ball, and Jaylen Brown got it when he needed to. Being aggressive, get it to the paint, get to the mid range game. He was amazing in this one. I felt like he was the only one that kind of brought the aggression and brought the intensity for Boston in this one. Porzingis, he had 24 and 12, but it didn't feel like he had 24 and 12. I feel like he had kind of a tough game. Didn't have a great start, didn't have a great finish, but in the middle he was solid. Defensively, he was trying his best as well, but Jokic is just a guy that you can't really defend or can't really guard. Very tough Jason Tatum game. 15, 4, and 8, shot just 5 for 13 from the field. Didn't really look like he imprinted himself in the game at all throughout any portion of it. Was being really passive, passing up a lot of shots, missed a couple big shots. They really needed him in this one. Like if he hits that corner 3, who knows? But not even just besides the corner 3, just didn't really look super aggressive or out there. Yeah, that's been kind of a thing for Tatum for a couple games for more than we've seen in a very long time. Jason Tatum has been kind of passive this year, which makes sense a little bit when you think of like this is the best team he's been a part of. He wants to win a championship. He knows what the Celtics' expectations are. He's been sacrificing his own numbers and whatever for the team, which has been working so far because they've been the best team in the league by far record wise this year. Because now you have a Porzingis, a Drew Holiday. He doesn't need to go out and drop 40 every night like he did a couple years ago where he averaged 30 points per game. Like he doesn't really need to do that. He could do that, but he doesn't really need to do that. But last night I felt like was a night where I felt like we should have seen aggressive Jason Tatum. I would have loved it if Jason Tatum would have came out and had the game maybe that Jaylen Brown had. You know, like Tatum, I feel like should have. If Tatum establishes himself last night, they win that game. I think he was too passive in this one, and especially with the conversations the past couple weeks about MVP conversation and why isn't he top of the MVP conversation? Why isn't he getting respect in the MVP conversation? All the stuff like that. Last night would have been a big night, especially against Denver, against Jokic, who might be the MVP right now, to come out and have a big game. That would have been the night, but he didn't. Very passive game from him. Derek White as well didn't have a great game. A rare bad game from him. 7, 5, and 6. 3 for 8, 0 for 4 from 3. He had 4 fouls. Drew Holiday had 12 points. He had a couple big shots late and kind of brought the Celtics back. He brought some intensity late in the game, which I love because Drew Holiday is another guy winning plays, But the Celtics bench also was a big reason. Celtics bench is usually something you can rely on. Didn't really happen last night. Their bench combined for 10 points. Payne Watson outscored the entire Celtics bench himself. Sam Hauser had a couple threes. He had 2 threes in this one. Al Horford 2 points, 4 rebounds, 0 for 2 from the field. Only played 19 minutes. Tough game from Al Horford. Xavier Tillman 13 minutes, 2 points, 4 rebounds. He was a negative 12, the lowest plus minus in the entirety of the game for either side. Surprised they didn't go to Luke Cornett. Because Luke Cornett played against the Cavs and he's been pretty solid, but I guess they wanted the more versatility and mobility with Xavier Tillman. Payne Pritchard, he played 11 minutes. He had a foul. That's his only stat. 11 minutes, he had 1 foul and missed a 3. That's it. That's all he did in 11 minutes. But yeah, tough game for Boston. 45% from the field, 29% from 3, 64. Shooting 29% from 3, 64% from the free throw line, having double-digit turnovers. You're not going to win games like against a team like the Denver Nuggets doing that. Not going to be able to do that. 2 back-to-back losses. The first time they've suffered back-to-back losses since November. They lost to Minnesota and Philly. It's been a thing about Boston. I feel like that hasn't really been talked about a whole lot because they haven't really been in the situations like this the entirety of the year because they've been so good. But late game execution is what I think. That was something I said, I think, early on in the year. I was like, late game execution, I think they need to get better at. But it's something I feel like we haven't really brought up a whole lot. We haven't really needed to because, again, they've been so dominant. They haven't really needed to have a lot of close down to the wire, one possession type of games because that's how good they've been. But the last 2 games we've seen against the Cavaliers, obviously they had the big 20-point lead. The Cavs came back and the Celtics down the stretch. It was really just Jason Tatum, Porzingis, and Jaylen Brown, and things didn't really go their way. And then last night, very close game. Jason Tatum couldn't really step up, make big shots. Porzingis had a tough shooting night, and in the fourth quarter, and things just didn't go their way. You know, and it's something they really need to work on, especially when it comes to playoff time. You're not going to beat everybody by 25 points and hit 23s in every playoff game. You're going to need to step it up. Am I super concerned about Boston? No. I still think they're the favorite. I still think they're a really good team. It's just, things haven't gone their way in terms of late game execution the last 2 games. And so they need to work on, you know? But, yeah, watching last night's game, we need this as the final series. I would love if this is the finals right here. Nuggets and Celtics, probably the 2 best teams in the NBA. 2 teams that have good coaches. I feel like the coaching adjustments, the player adjustments, the big shots, all this stuff. I feel like it would just be amazing to watch this as a final series. And last night's game felt a little bit different. Felt like a big game, which obviously it was a big game for both sides, obviously. But it just felt like there's a little more to it. Felt like there's a certain type of aura and pressure around it, you know. And so yeah, I would love to see this as NBA final series, man. I think it would be really really good. It would be a basketball fan's dream. I feel like to have a Nuggets and Celtics finals. Just watching both these teams play, it would be outstanding to watch. So I kind of hope we do get it. Of course, if we don't get it, I'm not gonna be mad or disappointed or anything because whatever it is, it's gonna be a good finals. But I feel like that series would be so fun to watch. But yeah, last night's game, really good game. to watch, and other good games as well. Bulls and Warriors was really close. Spurs Kings was really close. We got a couple. The Timberwolves Pacers, Anthony Edwards, amazing fourth quarter dominance. Like, we got some really good games last night. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. And once again, if you like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, and stuff like that. Really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.